The Redwall cook. Dang it! No! Oh man.
Great cooking is not for the faint of heart. You must be imaginative, strong-hearted. You must try things that may not work. And you must not let anyone define your limits because of where you come from. Your only limit is your soul. What I say is true. Anyone can cook, but only the fearless can be great.
Welcome to Anyone Can Cook. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen. Today we are still cooking from the Christmas with Gordon Ramsay cookbook. For today's recipe, we are making a fancy vanilla bean shortbread, but it's actually a really simple recipe. So without further ado, here are the ingredients you're going to need for today's recipe. The ingredients you'll need for today's recipe are 125 grams of room temperature unsalted butter, 2 eggs, 250 grams of plain flour, 90 grams of sugar plus extra for sprinkling, a pinch of salt, and the most important ingredient, 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. The recipe technically calls for 1 vanilla pod, however, the ones that I had dried out. So I am currently in the process of rehydrating my vanilla beans. But if you do have fresh vanilla beans, go ahead and use 1 vanilla pod for this whole recipe. Now that we have our ingredients, let's get started. So for the first step, you're going to add your vanilla and your 2 eggs to a large bowl and whisk them together. During this step, if you're using a vanilla pod, you would cut it halfway lengthwise and then scrape out all the seeds with the tip of a knife and add it in. Now whisk it all together. And here you have a perfect shortbread. Just kidding, and we're done. And we're done here. Setting this bowl aside, and in a different bowl, we're going to cream together our butter and our sugar. Our butter. After your butter and sugar are well creamed together, now it's time to add the eggs a little bit at a time. So I'm going to add about 1/3 and then whisk it in. Make sure that your egg is well combined into your butter sugar mixer before adding any more. Don't fear if your butter sugar mix looks like it's split or it's curdled. This is what tends to happen when you add eggs to butter. The protein and the fat fight against each other, kind of like a water and fat mixture. The easiest way to fix this is just to keep going with the recipe and add your flour, which will act as a binding agent to put the protein and the fat together. Now, let's sift our flour and our salt into our butter mixture. Now slowly stir in the flour until it's just combined. After your dough is combined, now we're going to roll it out on a piece of parchment paper so that we can stick it into the fridge to chill. So, pull out a large piece. Uh-oh, we're repeating history. There we go. That's good. All right, now let's transfer all of our dough onto our parchment paper. Now we're going to flour our hands and a little bit of the dough, and then put it into a disc-like shape. After it's in a disc shape, there are two ways that you can go about doing this. Gordon Ramsay rolls his out into a large circle. I'm going to make it fit a baking sheet, so I'm going to roll it out into a large rectangle instead. So I'm going to give myself some edges to work with so that it's more of a rectangular shape. Great. After you've rolled out your biscuit dough, go ahead and transfer it to a cookie sheet. And now you're going to stick this whole thing into the fridge to chill for about an hour. After an hour has passed and your dough is thoroughly chilled, now we're going to score our dough into bite-sized pieces. After you've scored your biscuits, now put them into a 340-degree oven for about 20 to 30 minutes. Keep your eye on them so that they don't burn, and you'll know that they're ready when they turn a nice, delicate golden brown. After your shortbread comes out of the oven, sprinkle them with sugar before they cool. After your shortbread has cooled, now it's time to break it into pieces. So I have a giant slab, so I'm going to carefully break it along the scored lines, just like that.
Alright, go for it.
And we're done! Shortbread cookies are a super fun and easy recipe to make, and they pair really nicely with the holiday season. So I'm really excited to try these because they smell really good too. If you liked today's episode, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss the next video, and don't forget to comment down below to tell me what you thought. And as always, bon appetit!
Hi there, I'm the camera girl. I was the one doing the recording for today's episode. I'm going to try Gordon Ramsay's shortbread. Now, I'm a huge fan of shortbread and he disappointed me last time, so let's see if he can deliver this time. I'm gonna try one in the back. Be super dainty about it. It's alright.